Lions TV, this is the Den Daily, bringing you all the latest gossip, views and transfer news from in and around the Den. Today and yesterday, the news broke, staggered across 2 days, involving different players on both occasions. But I think it was a mixture of news at Den and London News Online that Isaac, Tanto, Olaofe and Hayden Muller will both be leaving the club in the January transfer window. Okay. I'm gutted about those. I really am. Hayden especially. I've followed Hayden for many years. Stood next to his dad, Marcus. Lovely family. I know him at the training ground, Calmont Road. And he really is a great player, honestly. I used to call him a Rolls Royce of a defender. He's been injured of late, but he's been told, along with Tanto, they can both leave the club. I get quite a lot of stick sometimes about my my opinions on manager and first-team players. But I always, make an extra conscious effort to make sure that I stay positive with the youngsters. They're there for a reason. They're youngsters and they're learning, and there's room for improvement. And just take, for example, I know Tyler Bury, a lot of you at Watford wasn't impressed, but I thought he was terrible in the 23s, which is now the 21s. But he come a long way to get into that fold. So as I say, there's room for improvement at that age. Let's start with Tanto. It came out yesterday that 2 bids have been accepted from League 2 clubs. I found both these pieces of information out last week, and I don't believe that to be completely, well, it's not a lie, but I'm pretty sure it is still done with one club in particular, with Tanto in League 2. I won't be saying who that is because it's not my business, and if I have got it wrong, I can get myself in the shit and maybe scupper a move for this man. There he is in action for the under-23s. No, for the first team. Apologies. Big crowd for the under-23s. For the first team, that's when he came on against Coventry earlier on in the season. We was 2-0 down. He come back. We went 3-2 up, and he missed a chance late on. He also started. Oh, no, he didn't start. He come on as a sub for Tom Bradshaw in the away game in the League Cup against Cambridge. He got a bit of stick that night. People saying he missed chances, but I watched that recently with Steve Morrison when he was still manager of Cardiff, and he said, look, I don't care if my strikers are missing chances. If they're getting in the positions, then that's enough. And, Tanto definitely, he did his time. He did his apprenticeship, didn't he? Come through the youth system at Millwall. If you're wondering why they call him Tanto, then there's your answer. But I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. Isaac Tanto Olaofe, of course, local boy, born in Lewisham. He's 23 years old now. So, look, it's going to be best for him, definitely, to step on there and try and drop down to come back up. And we know he can do it at the lower levels, Went up to St Johnstone with Danny McNamara. Didn't really work out for him there. And once he come back to London, he went out to Sutton and helped them gain promotion as their top scorer to League 2 for the first time in their career. He went back the following season, and he did all right again. Gets a few little niggles here and there with injuries. I believe he's got one at the minute, and maybe that's held him back slightly. Also, you can't really... I'm gutted, of course, both of these are leaving, and I've been a big advocate for both of them, banging the drum throughout. But with the position our club is currently in, you can't really argue with it, and they can't play all the youngsters, you know what I mean? We're actually fucking in and around the top 6, and you can't really complain with the structure of the club. And with Tanto, I don't really feel that he's ever going to make it at this level, if I'm honest. He'll go on without doubt and have a career, and I will follow that, with interest, and good luck to him. But I don't ever feel that he probably could have got into our first team. From what I've seen, yes, he's only young, but again, if I'm 23 years old and I'm seeing my club buy players and in my position, I'm not getting a look in, I'll be asking questions and banging on the manager's door. Maybe he's done that, or maybe they've sat down. He did, of course, sign a new contract very, very recently, didn't he? Maybe that's the club protecting themselves on an asset that they've got. They've put a lot of time into Tanto, came through the youth systems, and they don't want to now lose him for nothing, as we saw happen with Jed Wallace. So we'll get a fee for him. We'll send him out to this League 2 club once it is still done in January. And we wish him all the best. Isaac Tanto Olaofe. Moving on to Hayden Muller. Another local boy, another one I follow with great interest. It's a difficult one for me, this, because, as I say, could play on my heartstrings a little bit. But look, Hayden Muller, for me, if Charlie Creswell's playing instead of me, I wouldn't be happy. But instead of Hayden Muller, who is a very accomplished defender, him and Alex Mitchell played a lot together in the 23s, which is now the 21s. Completely different types of players. Alex is a snot-blowing, gum-showing centre-half, and Hayden can defend, make no mistake about that, but he likes to carry the ball out the back. He can really play, and that picture there was of course, during the lockdown era when he did play for the first team. We played him out of position at right wing back, but to come in at the age he was at that time, about 18 years old, and do well out of position just showed the asset that we've got. And I think we're making a mistake letting him go. And he's only 20 years old, as I said. Looking at his Wikipedia page, yeah, he's 21 in February. Local boy from Croydon. This is a midfielder there, which we all know he isn't. He's a centre back. And yeah, 3 appearances for the Lions in 2020. So I don't know what happened now. And I'm not going to guess and read between the lines, but at some point he's obviously fallen out of favour and other defenders coming in. Daniel Ballard last year. Can't really have any complaints about that, but we saw with Ballard, we like what we see. We want to buy him, and then we get outbid and outpriced by Sunderland. He goes to Sunderland. Next up, we get Charlie Creswell in. Now, the issue with Creswell, for me, is 1, he's shit, and 2, is we got told when Creswell come in, you're never going to be able to buy this guy. Luckily, I wouldn't take him for free at the minute, but look, I don't know why we haven't pursued with Muller. Muller is a better player than Charlie Creswell, and I will guarantee that. But he's fallen down the pecking order for whatever reason. He has been injured of late as well, and he's just come back from an injury. So look, this is football. This can happen. And unfortunately, Hayden has been told he can leave the club either permanently or on loan. If anyone from the Muller family is watching this, get him a permanent if possible. Don't stick him back out on loan. Get him a permanent deal for a League One club, and I'm sure he'll kick back on and show our club and others what he's all about. But look, it's nothing against our club. As I've said, I'm not digging them out because they haven't taken or chosen to pursue with these 2 players. They see more than we see every day in training. I'm not saying that either of those players have got a bad attitude. Of course they haven't, but we can only speculate how well they would do on a longer term, 2 or 3 games here or there, subs appearances. So obviously, for whichever reason, Rowett has decided, and he's probably been honest and fair with him, and it's best for all concerned. But unfortunately, a little bit of a sad one for me, this for Hayden especially. Hayden Muller and Isaac Tanto Olaofe will both leave the club in January. And that's your lot for this then, Dale. I wasn't expecting a second video of the day. I'm going back to Only Fools and Horses, Jolly Boys out. It's got to be done around Christmas, hasn't it? Please subscribe to Lions TV. I'll see you in SE16 tomorrow, where we could go in to the top 4. Come on, you Lions.